What needs now is a stereo system. Now I know just the spot to go get it. Man, Jack Stereo.
Oh yeah, they're the best. How'd you know about that place?
Because that's where my dad took me.
Oh, that's cool.
And I'm the coolest cat on the block.
Oh my God.
Need a new audio system for your new ride? Jack Stereo has been selling the best stereos and equipment for generations after generations. Come visit your local store today. Those in the know, go to Jack Stereo, Waco, Temple, Killeen, and Bryan College Station.
I've looked back at MCC with all these kids coming out here, these men and women starting their lives out here, starting their dreams and their visions of what they want to do for their family. It's the foundation for our community.
The plan is to go win.
Yes, sir.
Our girls set a goal that they wanted to win a national championship. They wanted to win a conference championship. That's been on the table from day one. And now we put ourselves in a position to do that.
Pitch hit in the air and deep to left field. Going back is Trevon Morgan at the wall. He leaps and he makes the catch for the third out.
On the line, too much to give in. If you think it's over, then let's start it again. The planets alive, the stars burn bright. The sun goes down, we keep going all night. Don't back down, the moment is now. Don't miss out, we're never turning around. The light is yours.
Going back into it, it'll go all the way to the wall. One run is scored. Rounding the third, coming home to score is Aiden Cooney.
Catch me if you can. We're renegades.
It's this one in the air, deep right field. It is treetop call and over the wall.
We're renegades.
Hits the first pitch down the right field side. That's going to be it. Touching third and coming home is the winning run. Carson Croca give a RBI double to Blake Hansen from behind and walk it off and win by a score of 10-9.
We're renegades.
This is why you need Centex Primetime. Jalen Gillis brings the realness. Dive into the heart of sports with the most passionate commentary around. From pro to high school, Jalen's got the insight and energy you crave. Catch all the action weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. on the Centex Sports Network, only on YouTube. Join the conversation and elevate your sports knowledge with Centex Primetime. Don't miss it.
Need video or audio solutions? Lighthouse Streaming, a full-scale media agency, can transform any event. Check this out. We're talking live streaming that's crisp and clear, event audio that hits every note, and church video and audio solutions that'll enhance worship. Corporate events, we got those on lock too. From concerts to conferences, Lighthouse Streaming and Audio makes your vision shine. Book your appointment now at lighthousestreaming.com or call 254-252-4206 for a free consultation. Let's elevate your event and light up the stage.
What's up, everybody? My name is Jalen Gillis. You may know me from Centex Sports Network. We're starting a new platform, Recruit 254. Our mission is to highlight the amazing student athletes of 254. So if you're in the Waco, Killeen, Temple, Mart, Marlin, or any surrounding 254 areas, follow this platform and join the movement. Recruit 254. 254, let's run it up.
Hello, my name is Roy Gillis, CEO of Lighthouse Streaming, and you're watching Centex Sports Network.
We can't be the guys that's gonna be timid and not knowing what's going on. You play hard, you play together. I mean, that's all.
RJ's Bargain Center is your home team for appliances at unbeatable prices. From refrigerators to washers, dryers to stoves, you'll find brand new appliances with huge discounts. And just like your favorite local teams, RJ's is proud to support our community and local sports. Score your savings today at RJ's Bargain Center, 711 Lynn Street, Waco. Call 254-224-6178. RJ's Bargain Center, where big savings are always a home run.
Hello and welcome back into Centex Primetime. I am your host, Jalen Gillis, getting ready to bring you through the the primetime topics in sports, not just here locally, but from all around the nation. Hey, we want to thank everybody for tuning in with us here today. At the end of the year, hope everyone has a happy New Year's and hope everybody had a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to everybody out there. We've got a lot to talk about here today on Centex Primetime. The Cowboys have got themselves some more drama going on. And some relatives of the Cowboys got some drama going on. We'll talk about that here today. We'll talk about the college football playoffs. Round 2 start tomorrow. Tomorrow evening, we'll get the first game of the college football playoffs, and then we'll get the rest of those games on New Year's Day. So definitely got a lot to talk about there. And we got to talk about the NFL wrapping up the last week of the season. Regular season is this coming up weekend. So definitely have a lot to talk about there. A lot of playoff implications in these last couple of games. And we'll talk a little bit about NFL MVP as that award is getting ready to be crowned in just a couple of weeks as well. So a lot to talk about here today on Centex Primetime. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. For watching on YouTube, make sure you guys like, share, hit that subscribe button. Also jump in the live chat on there. Talk back with us. We'll read some of the comments out here aloud if you have something to say about a couple of the topics. So we're going to jump straight into it today, folks. Joining me here at the table, familiar face and familiar voice to the show, Mr. Rocky Miller in the building with us. Rock, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, man? It's a smorgasbord of sports going on now.
Yeah.
We've had boxing, exhibition matches. We've had football. We've had basketball, college and pro. And, of course, the NFL is wrapping up its season. So, it's a good time. But for me, it's also kind of a sad time as football is winding down. You realize you're going to have, in a few months, you're going to have some days where you're going to have time on your hands. And I'm sure being a married man, my wife will have plenty for me to get it. To
make up for all that football time.
All that time. Because of course she comes in the house sometimes and asks, "Are you still watching football?"
Yep. I've heard that question once or twice, and the answer is usually yes. Because even when I'm not, when the game goes off, now I got to go watch what I missed from the other games, and it just kind of turns into a whole thing. But yeah, football season wrapping up. It's kind of the bittersweet part when you get to the college football playoffs. You're like, man, this thing is about over with. If the college football is over with, that means NFL only got a couple of weeks left in it. Really just the playoffs coming up in just 2 weeks, so we don't have much football left. So definitely I'll be tuned in, cherishing the last few moments we have, even though we've got great basketball season going on right now in the NBA and college basketball as well. Women's college basketball is starting to heat up. I've been tuning in to not only the Baylor Bears, but watching a few of the teams I try to keep an eye on. My favorite player in college basketball right now, Juju Watkins, isn't going to be playing this year. But they got a pretty good replacement in the young freshman Jazzy Davison, who's been doing a thing as well out there too. So like Rock said, a lot of good sports going on right now. Let's jump into some headlines in the NFL, some news made a couple of hours ago. The Cowboys released two-time Pro Bowler Trevon Diggs. Now, to some people, this came as a surprise. If you're somebody that watches this show, this was no surprise to me. I've been saying Cowboys are going to cut Trevon Diggs since before the season started. The writing was just kind of on the wall. And then with him being out with injuries, him kind of speaking out in the offseason for Micah Parsons, kind of sticking up for Micah Parsons a little bit, I guess you could say, during the offseason. Wasn't too happy and thrilled when Micah was traded. Trevon Diggs said he is looking, or his agent and his team has said he's looking to join a playoff contender. And the playoffs start in less than a week, really, or less than 2 weeks now. About a week and a half, the playoffs will be starting. So we'll see if Trevon Diggs ends up joining and getting on to another team. But he's waived, just 27 years old, two-time Pro Bowler, has been cut. He's going to still be owed a lot of money. I was trying to see where his guaranteed money is and how much they're going to split that up. I know in 2023 he signed a 5-year deal worth $97 million. After that, he tore his ACL, was in and out of the lineup this year as well with the concussion for whatever the reason was. Heard multiple things, said he hit his head on TV. Some people said he got into a fight. A lot of different things were said of why he ended up with a concussion that was sustained at home whatever the reason was, hasn't played a lot so far this year. If it would be, they will be on the hook for $472,000 due in base salary for Week 18. They'll be giving him that, plus $58,000 if he is active this week, according to ESPN's Phil Yates. So the Cowboys will still be dishing out some money to him, but they finally cut ties with the two-time Pro Bowler.
If somebody picks him up, they get to
Diggs.
pay the $400.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And they get his contract.
And they get his contract if they pick him up off waivers, if he makes it all the way through waivers, which I'm not sure. I think he's going to make it through waivers because if you wait just a little bit longer, you don't have to pay him as much money. But you could miss out potentially on adding him to a playoff roster if you do that. What's your thoughts on this whole thing, Rock, of Trevon Diggs?
You know, Trevon Diggs was actually one of my favorite Cowboys. I think he was drafted in the second round by the Cowboys. Mm-hmm. He came on in at a time where we really needed a corner. We had some guys come in and that we brought in that had struggled. And he came in really at a time and kind of gave us some hope. Mm-hmm. And I will always appreciate him for that. He also, I think he had a great season with forget the corner we got from the
Deron Bland.
Deron Bland and the guy we had got from the Patriots.
Gilmore. Yeah,
Gilmore. Yeah. He had a great season with him, and so I just thought, he gave us a spark, a boost when we needed it. He played like a first-round pick then, and I always remember him as a Cowboy. He gave us some great moments. One of the things as a Cowboy fan, I don't get disgruntled with players who've given us good service. Sometimes I've watched a lot of guys, whether it be Zeke, whether it be Trevon Diggs, a number of guys, come in and be rocket ships, be stars. I think playing for the Cowboys gives you that extra push in fame and notoriety. Yeah. And sometimes when that happens, you get the spotlight put on you. And that spotlight, unfortunately, though it illuminates you, it also illuminates your blemishes as well. And in him, what ultimately became his downfall was he wasn't really as much of a cover corner as he was as a great guesser.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And once teams realized that, they just stopped throwing the quick stuff on him and made him cover deeper, more routes. And as our pass rush dissipated in effectiveness, he got more exposed because he wasn't the second and third move cover guy that some elite corners are. He just never was that guy. But without that pass rush, he got exposed, and so the last really I would say the better part of the last 2 years, even before he got hurt, he was struggling then.
Yeah, struggled. I mean, even at the beginning of this season, struggled coming into this. Like you said, guys said, we're gonna make you cover down the field. We know you can get the quick stuff, and that pass rush with D. Law and with Micah Parsons and that Dan Quinn defense that those guys are playing in. Man, it was set up for you to get an interception. We saw Richard Sherman succeed in the exact same defense with the Legion of Boom. We saw the Atlanta Falcons. A few of those guys had some All-Pro years, some Pro Bowl years when they went to the Super Bowl in that Dan Quinn defense. Same thing here with Trevon Diggs.
I call him a squat corner. That's what I said. He don't worry about anything really getting past him. He can squat, and he has tremendous ball skills. Yeah. And he was always great, similar to Deron Bland.
Very similar
in that way. Again, man, I just will always remember him for the good plays and good moments he gave us. I'm sure if he could have improved his play, he could have gotten back to the form that he was. He would have, but ultimately that just wasn't in the cards for him and the Cowboys. I actually hope he gets another chance because I think he is serviceable, and we see week after week that there are corners that need help. Yeah. My question would be, in this situation, would you rather be him or his brother? Considering what else.
Diggs brothers in a lot of heat right now.
Yeah.
I would much, even though he's made some questionable decisions as well, much rather be Trevon Diggs right now, man.
Today.
Stephon Diggs got a lot going on, man.
Now, I don't know who he supposedly strangled.
His chef. Now, I ain't never had no salmon that bad where I say, you know what, come over here. I got something I need to tell you. And strangle the chef out is kind of crazy. But, I don't know whether he did it or didn't. These are allegations put out. I'm just saying.
It's enough to get charged.
It is enough to get charged with, and I'm not going to really just take the word of guys that pull pink cocaine out of strange bags. I mean, I've never seen that before. Diggs is a different type of guy. So we've seen a lot from him over the last 6 months. Got paid. Finna go to the Super Bowl. His quarterback might win MVP, but he's got a lot of things going on right now. But if he's on any team that can help him get through the rest of the season without getting charged, the New England Patriots is the right place for him to go. Robert Kraft was caught on video camera doing a lot of questionable things. All counts were dismissed weeks later after those videos were supposed to be out. So he's
Community
with the right
service.
team. Yeah, he's with the right guys. Get with Robert Kraft's lawyers. This will be thrown out in no time, at least for the rest of this season while they'll be playing. But Trevon Diggs cut, man, I'd like to see him get into another zone scheme type of defense like the 49ers or somebody like that, like a Green Bay, if Green Bay really had a chance to go and do something. I don't think they have much of a chance without Michael Parsons. But him on a team like that, man, everybody can use the services of a Trevon Diggs when he's played right. You put him in that man-to-man stuff that they were trying with Eberflus earlier this year, it's not going to go the best way. But if you put him back in that cover 3 where he can sit back, watch the quarterback, you guys get a pass rush, man, he got 11 picks. I don't care how bad he is in coverage. I don't know who's going to be the next guy to get 11 picks in the season. That's a lot of picks. That's almost a pick a game.
Didn't Bland get 10, though?
Yeah, Bland got 10. The same defense, same type of deal. And I see Bland as the same type of player as Trevon Diggs. The only difference is, and why I would keep Bland over Trevon Diggs is, Bland has no problem coming up making a tackle. Bland will leave a game with 11 tackles if he needs to. He might get burnt, just like Diggs will, but he'll come up and make a tackle. Diggs, I haven't seen him get over 3 tackles in the game before, even if they're throwing directly at him. I don't think Trevon Diggs' career high might be 4 tackles in the game. So that's the difference. But Diggs cut, looking for a contender to be able to go to for this upcoming playoffs if they'll pick him up off waivers. I think they have a couple of days to try to do that. If not, I'm sure he'll be able to join somebody's team. A lot of different playoff contenders that could definitely use his help. I would not be shocked at all to see him in the Philadelphia Eagles jersey just because I think they're that petty over there in Philly that they would love to get Trevon Diggs, even if he doesn't do anything but sit in the back and play free safety. They love to get his services out there on the team. The week is about wrapped up, or the season is about wrapped up. Week 17 just wrapped up last night as the Atlanta Falcons got a surprise win over the Los Angeles Rams. Watched this game. Matt Stafford didn't really look like the Matt Stafford we seen earlier in the year. Obviously, he's playing without a lot of help out there. Puka's banged up. He's still playing through it. They're playing without the services of Devontae Adams. They've lost tight ends. They lost a lot of people on the offensive side of the ball for the Los Angeles Rams over the last few weeks. But Matthew Stafford struggled in this game, threw 3 interceptions. Kirk Cousins did just enough to not lose the game. 13 for 20, $126 yards, and just 1 touchdown. Didn't need to do much, especially when Bijan Robinson is rushing for 195 yards and a touchdown in this game. What do you think about the Falcons getting the upset over the Rams, and the Rams kind of dropping the last few games when they were really in control of the entire NFC over a few weeks ago?
Well, I think it's a situation where, like you said, Bijan Robinson was playing out of his mind, and Matt Stafford was, to be honest with you, struggling. Atlanta's a funny team, meaning that they have all the pieces on both sides of the ball that you think they should get better outcomes than they do, but then they have a second half like they had last night where they put up 21 points in the first half and then limp in, putting up 6 points, almost doing literally the opposite of what they did to get the lead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Seems like they weren't as committed to giving the ball to Bijan Robinson in the second half as they were the first half. They were trying to mix in Algiers and some other guys. I thought they could have just stuck with making sure they were feeding Bijan Robinson the ball in the first half, and they did. They kind of got away from that in the second half. But the Rams are, to me, the Rams are a good team. But like every team that'll be in the playoffs this year, they have a flaw, right? And Rams are a team that has several flaws. One, I think one of the big flaws, they have a quarterback that is not mobile, right? So if you can scheme it up and get to him, right? He was sacked 3 times last night, right?
Yep.
If you can put pressure on him, right? He's a little erratic. He's still Matt Stafford, and he had 3 interceptions last night. So if you can create those kind of and they, in my opinion, they don't run it particularly well, though last night they did. It doesn't seem like McVay and his play calling will commit to running the football. Now, the game kind of got away from him real early. Early, so I understood why they ended up passing almost 40 times. But I just really think that if they limit Matt Stafford's dropbacks and are able to run the ball, they'll get a better performance from their defense and their defensive secondary, which is another problem that they have on their team. There's no Jalen Ramsey's back there. There's no, they don't, even though I think their safeties are pretty decent in the run game usually, they don't do what I would consider a great job as covering. So they have a suspect secondary, but it's usually covered up by the pressure that they put on the quarterback. With how effective the running game was last night, they weren't able to apply any pressure to Kirk Cousins at all. He didn't even get sacked once last night because, again, he was getting a steady dose of running the football, and so you don't get in your pass rush bag typically when teams are running the ball against you like that.
That's really their whole defense. Their defense is Matt Stafford's going to get us up by 14, and we're going to let these young dudes, the Jared Verse, Brandon Fisk, all these young guys out there, we're going to just let them go and let them go rush the passer. When it's not working, then you realize, oh, man, these guys struggle to stop the run. Or these guys struggle in the secondary. They can't really cover anybody in the secondary. So their flaws have been, especially over the last few weeks in my eyes, have been exposed. Starting with that Seattle game that they had. Starting from that game on, their flaws have really started to get exposed. And I feel differently about this Los Angeles Rams team than I felt even 5-6 weeks ago. 5-6 weeks ago, I was like, man, these guys are going to be the toughest team in the NFC to beat. But with the flaws we've seen defensively, with offensive line being in and out, with Devontae Adams being in and out of the lineup, I'm looking at this Rams squad like this might be, depending on the matchup, I wouldn't be surprised by the first-round exit. Right now, their first-round matchup would be against Philadelphia at Philadelphia.
That's the same. Let's look at it. You're literally going to actually have the same game you had last year. And I don't think the outcome will be much different than it was last year, considering they won't be able to run the ball on Philly.
Nope.
Right? And it's probably not going to be great weather.
Nope.
Right? So all those beautiful downfield passes that Matt Stafford likes to throw, you just aren't going to be able to execute them in those kind of conditions. And it's going to be a knockdown, drag-out kind of game. And I think that bodes well for Philly because, like I say, how many ugly games has Philly won this year?
All 11 wins just about are ugly wins.
They play ugly football.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is Philly has a propensity to play some really elegant football for a quarter, or maybe a half.
For a quarter,
and then they're going to go back to it looking really awful. So anyway, I just think now with the way things are lining up, I think they have if they end up getting matched up with San Francisco, I think that's a great matchup for them. I think with the pressure they can put on Purdy, and the familiarity that they have with the Rams offense, they usually do better than most teams at stopping the Rams. I'm sure that's not coincidental when you look at what McVay and Shanahan basically run a similar system, so they know that. But I think that's a game. Now you get those guys. I'll say another game that kind of will favor them. I think if they get matched up with the Bears, that kind of favors them. Now it doesn't favor them if it's in Chicago.
Yeah,
but
it will be in Chicago.
But that's my point is they'll either end up playing at some point in Chicago, in Philly. They're probably their best option is to go to San Francisco. That's probably
if San Fran ends up getting that 1 seed or winning the division.
Yeah,
because they wouldn't play in the wild card right now. They're in 6, so the NFC playoff picture is pretty much set. Besides the NFC South winner, because they have a lot of implications on who can win that. Tampa,
well, I think. See what I think. I think the Rams are going to probably lose. Correct. This next game.
Let me see.
Yeah. What I mean is they need to.
Well, he said they're going to play. They asked McVay about it last night. He said all my guys are going to play because we need to play better. Is what he said. They're playing against Arizona in the last game. I'm not sure how much Stafford will see. I can't see Stafford playing the entire game. That's just my opinion.
Who's the 5th seed in the playoffs?
In the NFC, the 5th seed is San Fran.
Right
now. But they have a chance to I forget what has to happen. I know Seattle would have to lose. They play Seattle for the last game. I think the winner of that game will win the division.
Okay, so
and probably get first place in the NFC.
So 5, 6, and 7 have already. Well, 5 and 7 are pretty decided.
Yeah.
Who's 7?
Green Bay. They're the last spot in.
Okay.
Nobody else can make it into the playoffs besides Tampa Bay, and that's if they win the division. So Green Bay is going to be the 7th seed. LA is probably most likely going to be the
going
6th
to Philly.
Seed. Going to 6. Yeah, they're going to be the 6th seed and probably going to go to Philly in that game. So it's all going to be on matchups. The NFC is the toss up right now. I like Seattle, and I hear everybody about Seattle. They're 13-3. I love their defense. They've built through the draft and through free agency. I think they've done a phenomenal job. But I just can't help but feel like I've seen this movie already last year when the Minnesota Vikings were the number 1 seed in the NFC with Sam Darnold as the quarterback, and then he goes right into the playoffs and lays an egg. I can't help but get that same feeling about Seattle this year. Yeah, they're probably going to be the 1 seed. They'll probably get the bye, and then they're going to play, the winner of the Rams-Philly game. And, I don't see them beating either one of those two. I honestly, in the playoffs, I'm taking Matt Stafford over Sam Darnold. In the playoffs, I'm taking Jalen Hurts over Sam Darnold. So I don't know. This NFC is going to be a weird shakeup, seeing how these teams move around. We just talked about Philly. I want to talk a little bit about that game against Buffalo because we've seen this from Jalen Hurts a few times now. Philly ends up winning the game, but it was because Josh Allen missed on the 2-point conversion at the very end of the game. Philadelphia did not get a first down in this. Jalen Hurts did not throw for a first down in the second half. I think he totaled under 10 yards total in the second half, completely against Buffalo. Shutout, didn't score another point. They go up 13-0 at halftime. It's 13-0 in the middle of the fourth quarter. Josh Allen, puts a Superman cape on. They come back. We're about to win the game. They go for 2. Miss on an open guy in the back of the end zone. Khalil Shakir was open in the back of the end zone, and Josh Allen missed the guy. What do we think about this Eagles team? This is some of the most Jekyll and Hyde stuff we've seen probably all season out of any team. These guys look like world beaters in a quarter, as you just said, maybe, or in a half. But after that, their offense looks like the absolute worst offense in the entire NFL. Does Philly have enough to make another run at this Super Bowl?
Oh, they have more than enough, man. They have, as much as I hate to say it, if you look at a team and you look at, I look at it like this here. Playing your best, what's your chances of winning? Playing your worst, what's your chances of winning? Here's reality. Playing their best, nobody in the East can beat them. Nobody in the NFC can beat them. If they go out and Devontae Smith and Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley and that defense along with A.J. Brown, if they play at their optimum capacity, there's nobody that can beat them. There's not a quarterback that can deal with the pressure of their defense. There's not a running game that can run through the resistance that Jalen Carter and Davis and all those guys. So, playing their best, nobody can beat them. Now, playing their worst, if they play their worst game, what can they? And I have to say this, totaling 208 yards total offense, or 18 yards total offense, I don't think you can get much worse than that. And you beat potentially the best team that'll be in the playoffs in the NFC. Yep. So, in horrible conditions, mind you. Now, again, I believe that part of the lack of offensive production was because they had a 14-point lead in horrible conditions, and the formula to winning that game was, hey, let's just not put the ball in harm's way, and we can get through this game. So, but a heroic effort in the last 6 minutes by Josh Allen put the game in jeopardy, and that's kind of how you got to the point to where you were. But that doesn't negate the fact that for the better part of 3.5 quarters, Philly had firm control of this game. Mm-hmm. And that's what I look at more so than anything, is who had firm control of this game by score and on the field. Philly has firm control of this game. And for most teams would have probably tapped out, and most teams don't have Josh Allen.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, most teams don't have Josh Allen. So even playing their worst, they probably can, playing their worst, certainly they can beat Tampa or Carolina.
Carolina, yeah.
Playing their worst, the only teams that I see there are 3 teams that could beat them if they don't play at least mediocre, is the Bears, Green Bay, and San Francisco. Okay. Those teams, I think they have to play a certain standard, because I believe those teams are going to put up enough points.
That was going to be my point, yeah.
Right? I'm not sure that Stafford with the Rams or Seattle with Darnold they will be able to put up points on the Philly defense. I just question that.
This defense is good. I said it weeks ago, man. I think this defense is better than the defense that just won the Super Bowl. When you're talking about the Philadelphia Eagles, it's just the amount of points put up. If somebody puts up, and it'll be tough because this Philly defense is tough. I don't know if Jalen Hurts and this Eagles offense, as of right now, currently constructed, can score 27 points if somebody scores 27 points in a playoff game. I don't know if they can score 20. Man, they've won some games 16-9 against Detroit. They've won some games 10-6. Like, this offense has been ugly all year long without the services of Kellen Moore calling plays for them. I haven't liked the way this offense has looked from game opener. From the opening game against the Cowboys, this offense has not looked good. It's looked discombobulated. They haven't been able to run the football like they were last year, and I think that's been their biggest takeaway from it. So I agree with you. Their floor is higher than anybody probably in the NFL. Yeah. Their floor is what we just watched against them. They're not going to have – it's not going to get any worse than you not getting a first down for an entire half of football. That's their floor. And they still found a way to come out with the win.
And let's just be honest about who Philly is. Mm-hmm. Offensively, what you get in the regular season from Philly, you're not going to get in the postseason.
That's true.
Jalen is going to carry the ball 7 to 10 times in the playoffs. He's not going to do that in the regular season.
That's true.
That, to me, that's what makes Philly's game so sporadic, is because you get in situations where they clearly load up on Saquon and Jalen won't pull it and come out the back door. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But in the playoffs, he's going to pull it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Win or go home. We've seen this. We've seen this guy elevate his play in the playoffs. Again, it's almost like when you play Philly, you have to account for which you hope that Jalen Hurts that showed up last week shows up. But if he shows up, right, can you deal with the other elements, which is the Philly defense.
Yeah.
You know, we go back to last week where the Philly defense struggled a little bit against the Rams, right? We saw it. They struggled a bit. But guess what? Jalen Hurts pulled out his cape.
Yep.
He pulled out his cape. He puts up enough points to win the game, and the defense finishes it off. You know, they play a very complementary style of football. And now I'll ask you this: can a team like San Francisco put up enough points to stress the Philly offense out enough? I believe they can put up enough points. However, against the Philly defense, what are you willing to risk in order to put up that? Because you're not just going to be able to hand it to Christian McCaffrey and walk it down the field. You're not going to – none of your wide receivers is better than the Philly secondary.
Yeah.
You're going to have to throw caution to the wind and just ask Brock Purdy to go and win the game for you. And I think he's capable of that based on what I've seen these last 5 games. But will he be able to stay healthy if they decide to do that? Because I think Philly touches him up especially good.
Yeah, that defense is another. And that's what's going to keep them in everything. Jalen Hurts, can he? I don't know if he can do it for 3 games in the playoffs. That's my only issue with Hurts. This teeter-tottering the line of we're just going to do just enough to get over the hump. Can he do that for 3 games? Will that sustain for 3 games?
Well, he was average last year in the playoffs.
Well, he was, but there was some, you go for 200 against LA, you go for, 200 against the Commanders in that game as well. So, I mean, he had his games where he showed up and did his thing. Does he do that this year is my only question mark, because I just haven't seen it. It's been weeks and weeks. Even that Rams game you pointed to, and that was 2-3 months ago at this point. So, what can Hurts even do that now? I don't even know, can he do that? I think this NFC matchup, much like the AFC, will be about coaching matchups more than almost the QBs or some of these players. He doesn't want to play Kyle Shanahan, the Eagles. They don't want to play Kyle Shanahan's offense. They don't want to play against Ben Johnson's offense. And they don't want to play against Matt LaFleur's offense if Jordan Love is healthy. Jordan Love's not healthy, doesn't even matter. They're going to get smoked first game regardless. But if Jordan Love is healthy, those 3 play callers have the ability to take out this Philly team, just because I don't see Philly scoring 27 points in this entire playoff run. I just don't see how they can turn that on. And as much as they've been struggling over the last few weeks, I want to transition a little bit to the AFC and talk about a couple of these teams. Huge game, obviously. Pittsburgh loses to Cleveland. That saves the Baltimore Ravens season, even though Lamar Jackson won't be. Well, it's to be determined. I don't think he'll be playing in the final game. He's been doubtful this whole time. Now they've moved him up to be determined, a game-time decision. I don't know if he will play in this game or not. I don't necessarily know if he needs to play in this game or not. They get a ball to Derrick Henry like they did last week against Green Bay. I think they'll be just fine against this Pittsburgh Steelers offense, who's looked terrible all year, and now without the services of DK Metcalf, looked even worse against this Cleveland team. First off, what do you think about Shador getting a good win over his rival? His coach finally said his name in the press conference after.
He had a very up and down game. His ups were so up that it didn't matter because the Cleveland defense had full control over whatever Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh offense was trying to do. So as long as he didn't score for Pittsburgh, didn't look like Pittsburgh was gonna have much chance to score. No. Though a few times he tried to score for him. He threw what should have been a pick 6 early in the third quarter, I think. And but with that being said, it's always good to get a win. And he showed flashes of being a special player.
Yeah.
Being able to deliver the ball. He's just, to be honest with you, once Harold Fanning went out the game, you realize he's just not on the field with other NFL players.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's just not there's just not a lot there for Cleveland. No. And they're going to have, when you look at what Cam Robinson put on film last Sunday, I mean, that dude, I don't know that I've ever seen a tackle do some of the things that I saw him do.
He's terrible.
You know.
Yeah.
A few, and the crazy thing, a couple of his worst plays were some of Shadour's best plays.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, a couple whiffs, a couple, you know, where he clearly got beat, and Shadour just happened to get the ball out on time. Like, it was just, you know, the thing that Shadour struggled with, I think, last week was that he showed poor judgment of when it was time to give up on a play.
Yes.
You know what I mean? One of his interceptions was clearly a situation where the play was dead.
Yeah, you backpedaling and launching into the air. Yeah. That was a bad. His decision making. I mean, he's a rookie, and those are the things you tweak in the offseason. But even with the 2 interceptions, you go 17 for 23 against your biggest rival, against Pittsburgh Steelers in a gotta have it game, and they come out with the victory.
And in horrible conditions.
Terrible conditions, which he's got to get used to if he's going to be
playing
in Cleveland.
How many yards did Aaron Rodgers have?
168.
Yeah, so
throwing the ball the whole game. He threw 39 times.
Yeah, so when you think about what he was at, and again, this was one of the games where they probably were throwing to the same caliber wide receivers.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I was looking at that Pittsburgh receiver. I'm like, this is just terrible. Everybody wants to blame Aaron Rodgers. We can say Aaron Rodgers is old and he's bad, but look what he's working with. And it was a terrible decision to throw to Denzel Ward, who was a top 5 corner probably in the league, 3 plays in a row to end the game. But the only guy he even knows his name on the team is Marquez Valdes-Scantling, who they played together in Green Bay.
It's a tough wide receiving crew when you could say the most accomplished wide receiver on the field is Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, exactly. Out of both teams, the most accomplished guy is Jerry Jeudy, and that's only because he won 2 rings at Bama. That's it. That's the only reason.
Well, I mean, he probably has more catches than Valdes-Scantling.
Yeah, he probably got more catches than everybody.
And then Thielen's recent success
Thielen's out of there.
He's over here. Yeah, again, I think it was a good victory. It set up what I think is going to be a very I don't think the game's really going to be that competitive, but I think it set up a must-watch TV on Sunday night.
Yep.
I was happy for that. Shadour went and destroyed my parlay, though. Because I did, going back, I think about there were so many other games for me to bet on, and I took the Steelers because anyway. But with that being said, I think the Steelers Baltimore game sets up a very interesting matchup. I honestly don't see how the Steelers can compete in this game. I know I know Baltimore is just a 3-point favorite, but I don't see a scenario where the Steelers win this game. I just can't come up with one in my head. What about you?
I don't see the Steelers winning this, man. This offense is just absolutely terrible. And then this loss needs to happen for the Pittsburgh Steelers because it's time for a reset. They can't keep doing this 9-8, 8-9, 9-8, 8-9 every single year. It's time for a reset. Let Mike Tomlin go.
No, he doesn't do 8 and 9.
Oh, yeah. He never did 8 and 9. My bad. Well, he made it away. It'll be 9 and 8 again this season, just like the last 10 years, I guess.
Yeah, he's won at least 9 games for his entire career.
His entire career, he's won at least 9. So they're going to get another dose of it. Time to let Mike Tomlin go. He can go to Miami and revive that team or something like that. Time to move on from all of this. Time to try to build a team. Pittsburgh Steelers have refused to try to build a team. They only seem to draft defensive linemen well. Outside of that, I think they draft every single position on the football field horribly.
Linebacker, they do pretty good.
Decent at best. Their best linebacker pick, maybe Devin Bush in the last 10 years. He's not even on the team anymore. He's on the Cleveland Browns. They pick corners pretty decent. Joey Porter Jr. is a pretty decent guy. Outside of that, running backs, terrible. Receivers, as bad as it could possibly be, outside of the George Pickens one. But y'all didn't even know how to use George Pickens. I guess tight ends, they're decent. The point being, they need to reboot on everything. They need to get a different guy in there picking personnel. They need a new coach. They need a quarterback. They need a lot of things in Pittsburgh. So I think they're going to lose against Baltimore in this coming up week. Do I want to see Baltimore in the playoffs? Not really. Especially if Lamar is going to be hurt. It'll just give them another chance to say Lamar Jackson couldn't get it done, and it's okay if Josh Allen can't get it done because we just like Josh Allen better. It'll just give them another chance to do that. I'd rather that not happen. But Baltimore is probably on their way to the playoffs because I can't see Pittsburgh getting a win whatsoever. We talked a little bit about the Rams and their struggles over the last few weeks. But I wanted to ask this. Do we think Matt Stafford has played himself out of the MVP race? Because I had Matt Stafford, like I said, maybe 5-6 weeks ago. I had Matt Stafford penciled in as my MVP. He was playing phenomenal. His turnover to touchdown ratio was great. The team only had a couple of losses. They were in first place in the NFC. A lot of that has changed now, and now the odds favorite for MVP is now Drake May, who probably nobody can say that they had that as an MVP candidate coming into the season based off just no one thought the Patriots would be this good. I thought they would be improved. I thought they'd be around 9-win team, maybe sneak into the playoffs. But these guys have come out and had a phenomenal year, 13-3, right behind the Broncos for a number 1 seat in the entire AFC. Do you think Stafford has played himself out of the MVP race? And if so, who do you think can replace Matt Stafford in that MVP conversation? Obviously, there's names, the Drake Mays, Josh Allen is in there for this year. I was trying to think of Sam Darnold. Some people are throwing in there, obviously. Christian McCaffrey is one that I would even probably listen to because they've kind of duct taped this offense together all year with San Francisco. But who do you think is the replacement if it's not Matt Stafford?
I think it's clearly Drake May. Let's be honest about this. This award is in the NFL is as much of a popularity contest as it is anything else. You usually take the guy on the best team that has the best record, and he's going to be in the mix. Mm-hmm. In that case, you look at the best guy is Drake May. His team is, I want to say,
13-3.
13-3.
Yeah.
They're going to be the number 1 seed. He's had a great season, though. Let's not take away from anything.
30 touchdowns,
done.
8 picks, 4,200 yards.
Yeah, I mean he's had a tremendous season, and so he's a guy that I think the media and the press really wanted him to be successful, and they're going to reward his great year with the MVP. The same way they did it in Lamar's second year when he had a great season, you know. I think Drake May is these guys. I think when you look at who he's beaten, right, you have to question, how good he really is.
The New York Giants have beaten more teams over 500 this year than the New England Patriots, who have 13 wins, which is a very alarming stat.
So and let's be perfectly honest. Normally, when these teams go into playoffs, they get sorted out. I remember my Cowboys has been to the playoffs under these circumstances, and it gets sorted out. I remember a few years ago, there have been a number of teams that have won in the playoffs like this. I want to say Daniel Jones went one year that was kind of under these circumstances, hadn't really beat anybody. Makes a exit,
early exit, and that's what I'm thinking for the New England Patriots. Even though I like their team, I loved all the additions they made in the offseason. I like their coach. Mike Vrabel is clearly the coach of the year in my opinion, bringing this team out of the gutter to number 1 seed. Gonna have maybe the best record in the entire NFL, depending on if Seattle wins or not. But I'm like you, I don't think this lasts. But Drake May is probably the favorite in my opinion, just because of the Rams kind of falling off the last couple of weeks. If not for that, I think it was clearly Matt Stafford. I think he's gonna lead the league in touchdowns by almost 10 touchdowns. Like he's had a phenomenal year, another Matt Stafford type of year. He's gonna be right there, number 1 in passing yards, either him or Dak. But with the struggles over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, he was the betting favorite going into the game last night. But when you throw 3 picks in a big spot on national TV, it affects how you're viewed by the voters.
Yeah.
And again, who did Drake May beat last week?
Let me go and look. Let's see. Probably somebody with
like I said
with a bad record. They beat the New York Jets this week The week before that, they beat the Ravens with no Lamar.
So what I'm saying, they beat the Jets. They beat the worst. And just think about this. You
Beat 'em
go
bad.
into this last week, and Stafford is the favorite.
Mm-hmm.
If Stafford plays the Jets, if the roles are reversed,
yeah, exactly. He's
he's
taking
still
off.
he's still the betting favorite. You understand? The NFL is so much about who have you played.
Yeah.
You know, that's one of the things about, I want to say the Eagles. Was it last year, the Eagles? The Eagles last year literally had beat any team that was anybody last year going into the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Like they had literally beat all the teams on the AFC and all the teams in the NFC that
Chiefs,
were
Bills,
contenders. Yeah.
Ravens.
Yeah. So when you talk about how good they were, they had been tested.
Mm-hmm.
There was no doubt about it. And again, they're not as successful as they were last year, but if you look at their record and who they beat against the good teams, they've showed up. They had a what I would call a tough stretch for a time. You know, when they played the Cowboys, the Bears, and the Chargers, they had a tough stretch.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say they could have easily won the Cowboys and the Chargers game. Probably should have won the Chargers game.
Yep.
And then what does that record look like then? So again, I just think, you know, but I'll ask you this. Which one of those teams will have a defense like the Chargers that they'll be playing in the playoffs? I don't think there's a defense like that in the NFC.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, they have the defense that's like that in the NFC. Philly's the team with the defense.
Yeah.
In the NFC, Seattle's got a defense, but they all young. Those are all second, third, fourth year players on Seattle's defense. So we'll have to see how that's even going to turn out. But yeah, I would agree. I think Drake May, just circumstances, like you said, circumstances really dictate, especially when it's close. One of these years, I think Mahomes' second MVP was a year like that. Like, it came all the way down, and no one really knew who to give it to. And then when it got to last week, they were like, Mahomes, they got the best record. He was the best player on the team. Let's just give it to him, even though he didn't have a 50-touchdown season like we've seen him do before. I think Drake May will get like that. And I also, unfortunately, think Drake May and those guys will have an early playoff exit as well. We talked a little bit about Shedeur a second ago. I want to look at some of these other rookie quarterbacks and ask you this. Do you think these guys are franchise guys? That's the main question when you draft a rookie and you play him in their first year. You go out there, the record doesn't really matter. You just want to see, do we see the flashes? Do we see something we can work with? Can we build a team around this guy and they move forward and we have success moving forward with the quarterback? So a few quarterbacks drafted. Let's start with one of the guys drafted in the first round, Jackson Dart for the New York Giants. He was in and out of the lineup all year long, obviously with some injuries. Plays that caveman style of football that he did at Ole Miss, where he just kind of runs straight into guys and realize, these guys are pretty strong in the NFL, so that doesn't work. In and out of the lineup a lot. Played in some games. Had a decent games. Had some games where they won, and everybody's like, okay, Drake May looks like, Jackson Dart, you can work with something here. 2,000 yards on the season, 13 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. You can also tack on another 9 rushing touchdowns, led the Giants in rushing touchdowns as well. Do you think the Giants have found their quarterback of the future, or do they go into this year's draft saying, let's look for a guy again?
So I don't want to avoid your question, but I want to kind of set my answer up so that you kind of understand. I think when you're talking about rookie quarterbacks and you ask the question that you ask, are these guys a franchise quarterback? You can either say yes, no, or need more information.
Yeah.
And I think in Jackson Dart's situation, you need more information. Okay. And I don't, and what I mean by for him is not a question of whether or not he can be effective at this level. It's whether or not he has the ability to stay healthy at this level.
Yeah.
Because so the most important ability of quarterback is availability.
Absolutely.
And whenever you struggle with availability, they're going to question your ability, just like they're doing Lamar right now.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
So it doesn't matter what your potential is, what you have done. if your availability is in question, ultimately your ability is in question. And I think you just need more data. He needs to go back in the lab and, one, I think, improve himself physically for entire NFL season. And he needs to adopt a playing style that also allows him to will allow him to be healthier during the season. Because if you can have all the great games, all the highlights you want. If you get knocked out every other game because of you're playing reckless, you're not helping your team out ultimately.
No, you're not helping your team. You're not helping yourself by not being available. Like you said, that's always going to be the best ability for him. Yeah, it's kind of tough to say right now because he missed so much time with injury. Could I say is Jackson Dart that franchise guy? I would lean towards saying no, just because I don't think his style of play is sustainable because of the way that he plays with kind of the reckless abandon. He plays like he's Cam Newton or Josh Allen, but he's missing
without the
without the extra 40 pounds and
without the 6'6", 250.
That's how he plays, and I'm like, bro, you're barely pushing 6'2", and you're barely pushing 220. I don't think that you should be playing football like that, but that's to be determined. The inconsistencies of being in and out of the lineup, there's definitely left more on the table to be desired. And then he didn't play without his number one guy. I mean, Malik Neighbors tore his ACL in the third or fourth week of the season, so it's not like he even had a true number one option to work with. The other guy, another rookie quarterback, Shedeur Sanders for the Cleveland Browns, obviously didn't play until the last few weeks of the season. In my opinion, I think he's shown enough. I mean, it's Cleveland, y'all. Let's just be honest. He's shown more than the last 50 guys outside of Baker Mayfield at quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. Obviously, I think Shedeur's earned himself another chance to go out there and play again. Has he made some mistakes? Sure. But he is by far playing with the absolute worst complement of weapons in the NFL. Pro Football Focus ranks their offensive weapons dead last in the NFL by a long shot, and I would definitely have to agree with Pro Football Focus on that. Their offensive line was bad when the season started. By the time Shedeur got here, 4 out of the 5 starters of the season were already gone on the offensive line as well. I still think he's shown some flashes. I think his ability to keep plays alive, his arm, and stretching the field. We haven't seen anybody stretch the field for the Cleveland Browns outside of Baker Mayfield in years, even predating Baker Mayfield. So I definitely think Shedeur has kind of won himself over for this starting job in Cleveland going into next year. Some people still think, they're going to go in the draft and maybe try to find a guy. I don't even think this is one of those years to try to go and find a guy in this upcoming quarterback draft.
I completely agree about there's not a guy in this draft.
Yeah, I don't think there's a guy.
I disagree with the fact that if you have to answer the question about Shedeur, yes, no, need more information.
Sure.
I definitely, probably more so than even Jackson Dart in this regard. I think Shedeur needs more information with a complement of competent weapons at his disposal. Because again, he's shown flashes. He's shown the ability, but I haven't seen a consistent start to finish game where he's held it together and played in a way that gives his team the best chance to win from start to finish. That's what I got to see as a quarterback. Again, he's had flashes. He's thrown 8 or 9 touchdowns.
7.
Again, he's also thrown 9 or 10 interceptions.
10 picks, yeah.
So that's not going to work on any level. However, I think we need to look at him in a competent, functioning offense, and not just compare him to Dillon Gabriel. Because I think that's what we're doing. We're comparing him to Dillon Gabriel and what we saw against Joe Flacco, and I don't think that's not fair to the Cleveland program to compare. Say he's a franchise quarterback because of that. I'll notice this. I'll ask you this. I'll mention this. Everybody's been talking about Mendoza as being a transformational prospect.
Yeah.
And I think that's wildly exaggerated. My point is this. Against ranked teams this year, put it like this. Against unranked teams and group of 5 teams, he's thrown 27 touchdowns. Against ranked teams or Power 5 teams, he's thrown 6.
With 5 picks. With 5 picks in those games as
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
So again, what I'm simply saying is against the best competition, he doesn't play. One of the things, when you talk about transformational picks, and I'm just going to bring up a guy that was let's say a once-in-a-generation talent, Cam Newton. It didn't matter if you were playing South Carolina, Alabama.
Didn't matter.
It didn't matter. It all looked the same.
He was the best guy on the field, regardless.
It all looked the same. It all looked the same. It looked the same when he was up, when he was down. So my point is, I don't see that with this guy. I see this guy when his team is overmatched. He looks like the way Quinn Ewers looked.
Yeah.
He looked, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Quinn Ewers is just not 6'5", 200 pounds, 220 pounds. But here again, this is what I'll say about it. You'll get to see who he really is because he's going to go out with Alabama in a few days, and they're going to find out if he's really that guy.
Yep.
Because obviously, Alabama lives for these moments. And we're going to see. And it's not going to be a home game.
Neutral site.
It's not going to be a bad weather game. And he's going to have to make more than just one pass. And so, again, he's going to have to come back time and time again and make the plays. And let's see, is he that guy or he's a guy that plays down to the competition or up for the teams that he's overmatched, and he just looks like a guy when the competition level rises. That's what I'm afraid that Mendoza is. He's just a guy that can dominate the bad teams and just is a guy when they play the good teams.
Yeah, to me, he looks like every other quarterback in college over the last 10, 15 years that's on the number 1 team in the nation. It's always going to be, man, the linebackers are great, the secondary is great, the offensive line is great, the running back's great, the receiver's great, and the quarterback's going to get a lot of credit for really just the team really just being really good. I think that's what Mendoza is a product of. He looks like every quarterback at Ohio State. He looks like every quarterback at Alabama, outside of maybe a couple of guys.
Well, I think he has size, and mobility. But my point is, has any of that jumped off the screen at you in a space in a situation that matters? Like that's my whole deal.
Yeah, I agree. I haven't seen him look Herculean in any type of scenario where it's like, man, they need this. We're playing Ohio State this week, and he goes for 250 and 3 touchdowns. I haven't seen that out of Mendoza. Do I think it's good enough to work in college? For sure. I think for the college football playoffs, I think it'll be enough depending on their matchups, and it might not even be enough this weekend against Alabama. But as far as the NFL and everybody saying he's guaranteed number 1, I think he is going to be number 1 pick just because, I talked about it yesterday on the show. He's got this fanboy relationship with Tom Brady already. He said, I have posters of Tom Brady all over my room. I want to be like Tom Brady. I model my game after, like, who says I model my game after Tom Brady? Like, nobody even says that. He modeled his game after Tom Brady.
Who's that?
Mendoza. So I think he's going to be number 1 pick because of that. Raiders are going to have number 1 pick. Tom Brady's the whatever of the Las Vegas Raiders.
Bruh.
I think they're going to pick him.
Bruh.
I don't think I think the best quarterback is Dante Moore.
I done seen Trubisky.
Yeah.
Christian Ponder. I done seen him. I mean, you can.
Like I said, he looks like every Alabama or Ohio State quarterback I've seen over my entire lifespan, pretty much, outside of maybe a couple of guys. Big, tall guys that work, and you realize, dang, this whole team is really good. And that's why they're winning.
I'll even say a guy like Drake May, you could see how he even he carried. He was on a bad
North Carolina
team, and he carried the team athletically. He's the only thing that gave him a chance. So even when you say he's he's you can see the talent and ability.
Yeah.
I just don't see it with Mendoza.
Neither do I.
I just don't see it with Mendoza. I see remarkable size. I see, I don't, when people say arm talent, I think that's, a code for saying he can throw the ball far.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Literally.
What does that mean? Because, does that mean can he lay? Because one of the things, like when you talk about a guy like Shedeur, and we know now that we've seen him, is that he may not have the strongest arm, but what he can do with the ball, not every guy. He's had quarterbacks do a couple of his games. Like he had Romo do his game.
Yeah.
He had another guy that's quarterback, and the other guy was like, "Hey man, you just can't teach that throw."
It's ball placement. It's the way that he's throwing it. It's the ball placement. How does it hit the guy? Does it hit him in stride? Does he have to go back and track the ball in the air? Like all of those things are the things you can't just teach, and you can't get off measurables. You can't get that off of hand size and how far did he throw the ball. Yeah, that's something that actually comes with playing quarterback.
It's almost like vision at the running back position.
Yes,
you can't
exactly. Yeah,
you can't really judge it.
4-4 doesn't
you can't
tell you
measure
that.
it. Yeah, you can't measure a guy's vision. And how Shedeur is able to layer throws and throw guys into spaces, throw guys open and stuff like that. He's just really, really good at that. And so you may not look at that as arm talent. Another guy that I think has that same kind of ability is a Brock Purdy. Like you can't see, he doesn't have a strong arm. No, he doesn't have a strong arm. But the way he anticipates throws guys open, the way he can slot throws in very tight windows, I think that makes him, though he may not have tremendous arm talent, but the way he's able to deliver the football, it makes him a really special player.
Yeah, the arm talent thing is always something that's overrated. Like Jamarcus Russell should have proved that to anybody. I don't think anybody can throw a football farther than Jamarcus Russell coming out of LSU. Obviously, nothing else came with that. And then you look at a Drew Brees, the dude got 40,000 yards, and he never had a big arm or big hands or all the things that they say they have to measure. The Mendoza thing, I think Dante Moore is probably going to be the best quarterback coming out this year in the class. I think this is a class similar to Kenny Pickett and those guys a few years ago, where it's like Kenny Pickett goes mid-round, and then after that, Malik Willis goes in the third round. I don't see this as a quarterback-heavy draft.
Let me ask you this, Coach. So, because Malik Willis is intriguing. He was an intriguing prospect when he got drafted. He's developed into something that looks special on this level. They've tried to, when I say they, I mean, they just simply preferred what's the guy that they drafted in the second round?
Will Levis.
They just preferred Will Levis.
Yeah.
He was never a better quarterback than Malik Willis.
No.
But what I'll ask you is, if you're a team like Vegas, if you're a team, do you try to get your hands on Malik Willis, or do you try to draft your quarterback?
If you're a team like Vegas, I would draft a quarterback over Malik Willis, because Malik Willis is not going to thrive in that offense with Pete Carroll and the way that they run their offense. But if I'm a team like Miami, I'm running to
What
go
about
get
Minnesota?
If I'm a team like Minnesota, I'm running to go get Malik Willis and get him for a 2-year, $25 million deal, a 2-year, $40 million, something cheap like what they gave Justin Fields this offseason, but obviously that didn't pan out. I'm running to go and get him, because it's proven. You put him in a Matt LaFleur and a Kyle Shanahan and I forgot the guys in Minnesota's name, or
O'Connor.
Kevin O'Connell or Mike McDaniel type of offense. This is what you're gonna look like. You put him in space. You put him in this RPO type of system. You let him make quick decisions. We're gonna run the football, and then we're gonna hit you over the head every now and then. That's the type of football Malik Willis can play.
He's built to play that RPO style game.
Fast. He's not a little guy. He's 230 pounds, 6'1", 6'2". Man, I mean, he's got a cannon arm still. That's why he got drafted out of Liberty, because he got a cannon arm. So when you do put 7 in the box, because we've been hitting you over the head with this run, now I'm going to hit you over the head with this long ball. So I like Malik Willis in somewhere like Miami, somewhere like Minnesota, somewhere like that. And he's an interesting prospect coming out. Situation matters so much. He's not a guy you can just throw in Tennessee. We're seeing Cam Ward struggle with it. I know it's two different regimes, but we're seeing Cam Ward struggle in Tennessee as well. But yeah, I'd be interested to see. I think Malik Willis has earned himself some money over the last few weeks going into this offseason because there's going to be some guys that are going to look at this batch of quarterbacks coming out and saying, you know what, I'm good. Let's just get a vet and try to go play defense and run the football coming out.
Like I say, there's been a number of quarterbacks that we've seen struggle against the Ravens defense. And we're going to see him play. We're going to see Rodgers this week.
Struggle against the Ravens defense.
But it seemed like Willis had a grasp on what was going on.
Yeah.
And he was what I would consider very effective.
Yeah, for sure. Until he got hurt. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They probably make it is a much more competitive game if he doesn't get hurt.
Yeah. And he was hurt coming into the game. He was questionable to even play. And he said, I'm playing no matter what, and kind of tried to will his way through the game and still ended up getting hurt. Malik Willis earned himself a lot of money. You put him in, first of all, Matt LaFleur can call plays. If you give him this type of archetype at quarterback, this is what he's going to do. Matt LaFleur can dial up plays and call plays. I'm happy for Malik Willis. He's definitely earned himself some money when he was looking like, this guy might be out the league here soon. He's definitely earned himself some money coming into this. We got a few minutes left. Let's go to some quick takes, and I want to switch over to some college football while we have some time left here on the show. First off, is a quick take. Chip Kelly hired at Northwestern as the offensive coordinator, earned himself yet another bag. Chip Kelly seems to always find his way out. Somehow he's going to bamboozle somebody in the NFL and get him some money, gets back in the NFL, and then realizes none of this stuff works in the NFL, just like it didn't work the first time when he was in Philly. None of this stuff worked. But it works for college football. What do you think about Chip Kelly being offensive coordinator at Northwestern?
I mean, I think Chip Kelly is he coordinates a very efficient college offense. You know, on the NFL level, again. And now, this is what I'll say about the NFL level. You can have the greatest system in the world in the NFL. You better have some Jerry Rices. You better have some Montanas. Sure. You better have some John Taylors. You better have some Roger Craigs. You know what I mean? Like in the NFL, we can talk about systems all day long, but you better have some players.
Yeah. No, for sure. You definitely need players on it, but he had a whole bunch of players in Philly that first time, and he completely destroyed their team. They didn't have much to work with in Vegas, but, you know, the reports coming out of –
But he's also the guy that traded LaShawn McCoy, so he thought it was his system.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
he thought he was that guy. He thought he was that guy for sure.
He also the guy that I think benched Mike Vick.
He did, for Nick Foles.
And played Nick Foles. And so, again, Nick worked for a little bit, but until they cut Mike Vick, and then once they cut Mike Vick, you saw how Nick Foles, that ended up.
We ain't seen him for another decade.
Yeah.
So he won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but my only point in saying it is you got to have guys. But I think in college you can work with a system if you're able to get the players that work in your system. And I think Chip Kelly understands what players work in his system, and he'll be able to.
I was surprised it was just offensive coordinator. And I'm like, who is the coach of Northwestern that you hire Chip Kelly as the offensive coordinator and not just hire him as the head coach?
Somebody, Pat Fitzgerald, he needs to keep. He wants to keep his job with them.
Yeah, we'll see how long that works. If they start winning, Chip Kelly gonna end up being the head coach over there. But in college, it's much different than NFL. NFL, like you said, you got to have guys in college. If you can recruit a certain type of guy and just get a certain guy to fit your system, I think one of the best of all time in doing that was Art Briles. He just knew how to recruit those guys. He knew how to find the Antoine Goodley. He knew how to find the Kendall Wright. He knew how to find the Tevin Reese.
And he knew how to make a Tevin Reese. Yeah. He knew how to make those guys work.
Yeah. And I think Chip Kelly is somebody like that.
He had a role for those guys. Yeah.
And I think he'll be successful if they can find somebody like that. The Hall of Fame candidates were announced in the NFL. Some notable names are headlining the Drew Brees, Eli Manning, Willie Anderson, Larry Fitzgerald, of course, Frank Gore, Adam Vinatieri, Reggie Wayne. Those are the finalists. Obviously, that'll be cut down. The list will get cut down on some of those finalists. Any notable names outside of the, obviously the big one? I think Drew Brees for sure getting in. I think Larry Fitz for sure getting in. Eli Manning is a very interesting one. I think this is his first year of eligibility. So obviously he.
So if it's five of them, this is who's getting in. If it's five, Larry Fitzgerald.
Yep.
Torrey Holt.
Okay.
Reggie Wayne.
Okay.
Darren Woodson.
Okay.
And Luke Kuechly.
You don't think Drew gets in first round?
Oh yeah. Drew.
Okay, yeah.
Drew. Yeah, when you said it, Drew,
I think I probably
no-brainer.
agree. I think mine. I think that I would put in no-brainer would be Drew, Larry Fitz, Frank Gore, Luke Kuechly, and Jason Witten. That would be the 5 I think is for sure getting in. I Jason Witten kind of like a people's champ type of thing. I think they'll try to vote him in.
I seen him play.
Yeah, I seen him play too. That's kind of like a people's champ type of thing. And maybe Marshall Yanda, if they, they don't really give him. They don't give offensive linemen.
He led the NFL in 1-yard pass.
He did, for sure. I watched a lot of those 1-yard curl routes that he ran, them stick routes that's supposed to go 5 yards, but Jason Witten would just take a step and turn around.
And Romo was going to pad it.
And he was going to hit him right there, and he going to fall forward for another 6 yards, and that's a 7-yard gain from Jason Witten. But, pretty good class, I think, coming in as far as the Hall of Fame candidates going into it. I know you're a Lakers fan, LeBron fan as well. J.J. Redick spoke out against his team last week after they lost on Christmas to my Houston Rockets, who beat the brakes off of them. Said, the guys just don't care enough, all these type of things. They got to find a play defense, and we're going to have a really hard practice on Saturday, and it's going to be uncomfortable for everybody, which, my first reaction to that is, hey, man, it's the league. That doesn't work. You're not going to run LeBron and be, LeBron, you're not playing defense. You got to do 10 suicides. Like, you're not about to make Luka do 10 suicides, man. These dudes got $600 million. They're not about to do that. I get what J.J. Redick was saying, the frustrations, guys are not getting back on defense, but that's who your team is. You got a team with a 42-year-old LeBron James, Luka Doncic, and Austin Reeves, and you're saying, man, these guys don't play defense, and DeAndre Ayton. Those guys have never played defense, not LeBron. LeBron at 42 years old, he's not about to play defense. He's not about to run back on a play. None of that kind of stuff is about to happen. What do you think about J.J. Redick speaking out against this team, and is this a roster problem or something that can even be fixed?
No, this is the guys other than LeBron. This is for other than LeBron.
Yeah, that's
Luka, and okay. So let's look at it. You have to have a guys on the team willing to do the thing that Austin Reeves is willing to do when he's not available, and that's the issue. No one is willing to do what Austin Reeves is willing to do when he's not available on the court. He not only does the dirty stuff, but he's also very effective on the offensive side of the ball. Now, they can make up for the offense. You got LeBron, you got Luka, you even got the Japanese black dude.
Rui Hachimura, yeah.
Right? But the end of the day, my question is this: who is going to do what Reeves does on the defensive side, the hustle balls, all that kind of stuff? Who's going to do that? And that's who he's talking to. He's talking to the other guys on the roster to say, hey, if you're going to play, you're going to have to do all that other crap that Austin Reeves does in order to get playing time. I don't think he was directed, clearly it wasn't directed at LeBron, but you got to understand this team had a lot of success early in the season.
Yeah, and then LeBron comes back.
Well, it's not just LeBron coming back.
No,
it's Austin Reeves being hurt.
Yes.
Like, Austin Reeves being hurt. And again, if you're going to play Dalton Connect, he's going to have to get dirty. If you're going to play Jake LaRavia, he's going to have to get dirty. You know what I mean? Marcus Smart, you're going to have to be dirty. You're going to have to get dirty. And so we saw the last game they went out, you saw a team that played a little hungrier, a little more aggressive, a little more nasty. And so and that's how and again, if you're going to, in the game they lost, I don't think they played Vanderbilt at all.
Yeah.
Right? But again, you put Vandy, if you're not going to play Reeves, you got to put Vandy on the court.
Yep.
You're going to have to put somebody on there who doesn't mind getting a little nasty.
Yeah, that's their problem, man. This is a roster construction problem. I get J.J. Redick's frustration, but Luka's not there to play defense. I know everybody's, man, he's got to show effort and he's got to play defense. Well, he doesn't got to play defense. Steve Nash didn't play defense, but he had a bunch of guys around him that played defense. Like, there's plenty long list of players that don't play defense that had successful teams. Luka didn't play defense when they went to the finals 2 years ago. But the other guys on the team played defense around him. It's the others is the reason why the Lakers are losing. Luka's there to get 30, 10, and 10. LeBron is there to get 25, 5, and 5. Austin Reeves is now there to get 25, 5, and 5. What is Marcus Smart doing? What is Jared Vanderbilt doing? What is DeAndre Ayton doing? Like, those are the issues and why they're losing. I think you've got to find a way to get the others to build around it. Because what's the alternative? You get rid of LeBron, you get rid of Luka, and then do what? Get a bunch of defenders out there and you win 33 games a year? Like, what is that going to solve? So I think the roster construction is their problem. Can they make some trade deadline moves? Maybe. But I just don't see that happening. I don't see that happening this year. I don't think they have enough.
And again, I don't think they need, I don't think they need to make any. I think their roster as constructed is championship capable, but they have to have a full complement of their star players.
Yeah.
And those role players have to know their role. And again, there's no way Vandy should not be a DNP in a game where you're getting the doors blew off of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think even, and I think this is J.J. Redick's, one of his, it's almost like players end up taking the personality of coaches who are players, kind of direct themselves to their personality that they had as a player. Would you describe J.J. Redick as an offensive or defensive player?
Offensive.
Right? He tends to like offensive guys. When he plays those offensive guys, what happens? He's not as good on defense.
Yeah.
Remember when Darvin Ham was the coach? What was his identity as a player?
Yeah.
And when he played defensive guys that couldn't hit a shot from the outside. So you have to find,
it's a balance. Yeah.
It's a balance. You cannot. I know you don't like Vandy as an offensive threat, but at the end of the day, you have to have him on the field if you're going to compete defensively.
Yeah. Yeah.
It limits what you can run on offense because he's really going to stand over in the short corner. He's really not an on-the-ball offensive player. The ball is going to be stagnant, and you're going to, all that's part of it. But you can't go out there with 5 offensive guys that can't guard, because if you're not hitting, if Luka's not, now again, if Luka's not hitting, then you have to make up the difference in defense.
Yeah.
And if you don't have anybody out there that can do that, then you end up getting beat by 20.
Yeah. And it's when they're up, and when they're down, they're down. They're just one of those type of teams. They're like, everybody kind of, the body language gets bad. Once we're down 15, it's like, Luka's not going to get in the huddle and say, all right, guys, let's step it up. Let's get some stops. Like, that's just not his thing. LeBron can say that, but LeBron also knows LeBron is trying to stay healthy from here into the playoffs. That's what LeBron is worried about. Everybody wants him to get in the huddle, and LeBron needs to dive on the floor. And this is year 23. This man is trying to just make it through the season and get to the playoffs where he know he could turn it up a notch. I think they've, like you said, they got to play those guys. They got to find a way to play the Vandos. They got to find a way. And Redick as a player, he's one of those scrappy guys, I'm going to compete defensively and stuff like that. But just honestly, in 2025, this day and age of
the NBA, he's a shooter, so
yeah, he's a shooter.
If all things equal, he's going to want a guy that guy has that's a perimeter shooter.
Dalton
or somebody.
Connect. That's why they drafted Dalton.
Yeah, but Dalton he can't guard his position.
No,
he can't. That's his problem. And so here's the interesting thing. You put Dalton Connect out on the floor, he can't guard his position. You put Vandy out on the floor, he can guard his position, but he's not the offensive player that Connect is on the ball. I think he can do the three-point shooting, the stand in the corner and wait for the three. But again, now and here's the other deal, and this is just the reality. This version of LeBron is not going to make up the difference defensively for a poor defensive player that you have on the court. No. He's not. If you have Dalton Connect on the court, LeBron is not going to put much resistance up to cover his man.
No, that's not the stage of his career that he's at. Not at all right now.
And Luka will not do it either.
And Luka's not going to do it. That's the main issue. Is Luka's not going to do it. And I hear everybody saying, "Well, this is why it didn't work in Dallas." And you can't win with a guy like Luka. I don't agree with that part. I think the team has to be constructed.
I don't think you can play professional basketball with 3 guys on the court who can't guard their position.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'll openly say LeBron is one of those guys Luka is one of those guys. So you're going to put another guy out there that can't guard his position.
Exactly. Yeah,
and then DeAndre Ayton for
he can't guard.
No. And what I'm saying, there are situations where he's not going to be able to guard his position.
Yep. When you play the Jokic, when you play the other bigs in the league,
and some of the more athletic, physical bigs, he's not going to be able to guard his position.
The rim runners. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I mean, that's why I said it's a roster construction problem. That's not the the LeBron thing. LeBron is not going to do that, as you said. He's not going to make up for somebody else. He's not going to play help defense. And LeBron's issue is not getting scored on. He still takes pride in people not scoring on him. His issue is he's not going to run across the other side of the court to stop that backdoor cut that's coming and come on to block it on the opposite. He's not doing that.
Yeah, and when Dalton Connects gets beat,
he's not going to run over there.
He's not going to run over there and try to knock it down.
No.
Yeah.
And when it's a fast break, he's not going to run and try to chase down block and try to guard three guys on the fast. He's not at that point. Luka's not going to do that, but I don't, I see the people all the time, you just can't win with a guy like that. Luka's not going to, I don't think that's true because history's shown otherwise. Steph Curry's got 4 championships. Steph Curry's never guarded anybody. But the team around, he's got Draymond Green and Andre Iguodala and all these guys. That's why it worked for him. So I think the Lakers can work. 1, they got to get healthy, as you said. And then 2, they need to find their complement of guys that can play defense. To me, the guys you get rid of is the Ruiz and guys like that. Like, if Ruiz not hitting the shot, he's just a pointless guy out there. He's 6'10" and averages like 1 rebound a game. Like certain stuff, it doesn't even make sense. If he's not hitting shots, he's a pointless person on the floor.
Now, that is I believe I looked at the stat line the other day. Rui, LeBron, and Aiden had combined like 4 rebounds.
It's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
You know what I mean?
Like their leading rebounders are Luka and Austin Reeves consistently. Like every time they play, that whole winning stretch at the beginning of the season.
I don't get that.
Luka was getting 12 boards. Austin Reeves will go get 9 boards. DeAndre Ayton got 4 boards. Rui Hachimura has had multiple games where he's had 0 rebounds. How do you even play 30 minutes in a game and get 0 rebounds? And you're 6'10". Like certain stuff just boggles my mind.
Standing out by the 3-point line.
But you don't even crash in to come and get a board. Those are the guys that I take issue to. Like, okay, something has got to change for them as well. But Lakers play again tonight. They play on NBC. They play against the Detroit Pistons, who just got a 50-piece put up on them by Kawhi Leonard. I didn't even know Kawhi still had that in him. Put a double nickel on them the other day. So we'll see what the Lakers look like tonight on national television versus the Detroit Pistons. Just a couple of minutes left. Let's look at these games coming up this week. Before we do that, real quick look at the transfer portal. Transfer portal is catching a lot of traction, man. I feel like every year more and more guys are getting into this portal, and it's almost overloaded this year, in my opinion, in transfer portal guys. Like all the quarterbacks are going into the transfer portal, all the running backs going into the transfer portal, all the good receivers are going to the transfer portal. Somebody's going to end up playing for Northwestern. Somebody's going to end up playing for South Alabama State. Like some of you guys are not about to go to these top-notch schools that you think you're about to get offered from or you think you're about to go to. Some of you dudes are finna be playing at McNeese or something like that for all y'all jumping into the portal. But first, what do you think about all these guys that jump into the portal? And then looking at some of these guys, do you have any idea where you could see, some of these guys, the big names, the Dylan Raiolas, DJ Lagways, as far as running backs, a Waco guy, Trey Wisner, just jumped into the portal from Texas, so he'll be looking for services other way. The Cam Coleman's at Auburn, Amari Miller from Colorado jumping the portal. Do you got any places where you could see some of these guys going to? And then what do you think about just the overhaul of guys in the portal? Probably going to get another 100 players once the playoffs end as well.
Again, man, I think this is around expectations and compensation. Mm-hmm. I think the players have to have an expectation of what they should get, and this is compensation. And they should. My point is, if I'm a quarterback, mm-hmm. and I'm getting a meal, and there's a guy that's getting $4 million that isn't playing well, $1 million is quite a bit, but let me go out and get $4 million.
Yeah.
They're not worried about the situation, the relationship with the coach, none of that. They're just going after the money.
Yeah.
And you can't blame the players because you see it in coaching all across the board. You know, there's no coach that was at a group of 5 or a emerging Power 5 school that decided, hey, I'm gonna stay here and just make this program elite.
Yeah.
Nobody did that.
Nah.
All the coaches that had an opportunity to go other places, they went other places.
Mm-hmm.
The guy James Madison goes across country to UCLA.
Yep.
You know, and then you say, well, they have 20, 30 players in the portal. You don't expect that when their coach, their leader, the guy that they came there to play for, he left, and you're going to expect these guys to stay? He took the most money he could.
Yeah.
These guys have been playing for him.
Yeah.
Think about this, Jalen. These guys have been playing for him at James Madison for peanuts.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for nothing.
He's the reason why they're there. He takes the money and run. Why wouldn't you think they wouldn't decide, well, since coach took some money and ran, I'm going to enter the portal and get some money? Because you got to realize, I'm sure James Madison isn't equipped to deal with what they are faced with from an NIL pay-for-play standpoint with the success that they've had. So guess what? That quarterback who's a freshman, he's getting in the portal. What gets me is, and I'm gonna get on my soapbox.
Yeah, no, you good.
Is why are these coaches and these media people complaining about the portal and how there should be restrictions on the portal, where for a century, when these guys were playing for free, nobody were advocates for these players when they were being controlled and having no opportunity to gain any type of compensation for their name, image, and likeness, and the schools and the conferences were making billions. Why now do you have all this smoke for players who are exercising the right to monetize their ability while they have it? Exactly. There is a short shelf life on athletic talent. Believe me, you're not going to have it forever, right? So if that is the case, none of these guys are promised to go to the pros either. And if you get to the pros, you're not promised a long, prosperous career either, right? Yeah. What does the NFL stand for?
Not for long.
Not for long. So why can't these guys exercise their options to get more money? Now, what I would say to colleges out here, this is a simple situation. You bring up our homeboy, Trey Washington, right? How many other Texas kids are in the portal?
Probably 20.
And guess what? They all got their bags taken care of. Their bags got, what we say, enhanced.
Yeah.
Those who didn't get their bags enhanced probably went in the portal.
Yeah.
Right? Alabama, how many does Alabama have in the portal?
Probably 5 well, not as many now because they're still in the playoffs. But as soon as they lose, we're going to see 5, 10, 15 jump straight in the portal.
Yeah, and those are the guys who didn't get their bag enhanced. But if Simpson decides to stay, he's not getting in the portal.
No.
They're going to make sure his bag is straight. Absolutely. And this is what I say. Quit complaining about players getting in the portal, and colleges, get y'all money right.
Get your money up and not your funny
Get your money up. Get your money up. These guys, let me tell you what's happening here, Jalen. This is something I know on very good account. These agents are calling the guy and saying, hey, I love my school. And these guys are saying, I love my school, I love my coach. We're gonna work it out, and he's gonna make sure I get paid. And the agent is saying, I'll pay you $50,000 if you enter the portal on January 2nd. Huh?
Yeah, exactly.
I'll pay you $50,000 to get in the portal on January 2nd. He said you can go back to your school and you can still negotiate with your coach or whatever, but you're not going to be able to get your value from your coach. And you go to your coach and say, Coach, I got a guy offering me $50,000 to stay here. Can you give me $50,000 next year? What do you think Coach is saying? Nope. I don't talk about money. You got to go to the collective with all that kind of shit. You understand what I'm saying? He's giving them the
runaround,
Look at here, man. I'm put it like this, man. This game is simple. And these coaches know the game. If you have a woman of any value and she wants something, you better she better see you breaking your neck trying to get it. Now, if you break your neck and you don't get it, she'll be okay with you having a broke neck and not getting it. But she's not going to be okay with you just sitting on the couch saying, I ain't going to do that. She's not going to be okay with that.
Somebody else will. And that's exactly what's going on in the transfer portal. If you don't do it, somebody else will.
I got to see some effort.
Yeah.
And with as many guys as many mouths to feed as these guys have, I understand why the coaches are reluctant, and even maybe the NIL people with the schools are reluctant to address it. My point is, you have to be proactive. You have to start addressing this stuff during the season.
Yeah.
You can't wait till the portal open and start wanting to address
wildfire at that point.
When these agents call, whether it be the quarterback from James Madison or the running back from Northwestern or whoever, you have to have him in the mindset that says, "Hey, my coach and my people are I'm taking care of. I'm good with that." Mm-hmm. Because because these guys are taking anywhere from 20 to 30% of these kids NIL. And if I can get you $400,000 and I gave you $50,000 to get in the portal, I'm gonna make my money back on commission.
Yeah. Facts.
I'm gonna make my money back on commission. Mm-hmm. If you get $300,000, I get $60,000. I gave you $50,000. If you get $400,000, right? I get is that $80,000? If it's 20% commission, come on, man. This is a business, and you have to be willing to go above and beyond as a school for your guys.
Yeah. And everybody's not willing to do that. And it's to the point you said, you got to strike while the iron is hot. I think that's all this is. It's just like draft stock. You wait too long to get into the draft, you'll be a 7th round pick. If you go too early, it might not work out for you. But if you go at just the right time, even whether you're good or not, none of that stuff matters. You go in, you can end up being a 1st round pick. This is the same way.
And when these coaches get to talking about, well, what were you promised? Like, I'm not getting my money. Well, what were you promised? I was promised $20,000 a month. And then you hadn't got your $20,000. Well, I'll talk to them and see what they say. Well, they say they don't have it. They don't. If they had the $20,000, and that's all you got as a coach. So that's why guys start putting their portal entry up in November. Like we're entering the portal. That's why guys
sat out the last 2 games of the season and went to the portal.
Guys at Eastern Carolina said, "I'm not playing the bowl game because
a lot of people
I didn't get my. Why should I pay and y'all ain't made your last 2 payments?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You defaulted on the payments.
Anybody know this? You missed 3 payments. They gonna foreclose on you.
Whatever it
These
is.
guys are doing. You're not paying these guys, and they're foreclosing on it. So everybody who enters the portal isn't entering the portal for the same situation. But I can honestly say this: most of the guys that enter the portal is centered around money.
Yeah, for sure. 90% of these guys are getting into the portal. Everybody with 4 stars and 3 stars next to their name is entering the portal.
Now, I don't understand why Trey Wisner is getting in the portal.
I know why he's getting in, just to get a bag. The same thing you just said. If you're at Texas, and not only have you been there for a couple of years.
But everybody in Texas get a bag.
Get a bag.
Oh, he want a bigger bag.
Yeah, if I'm saying, okay, I get a bag. You give me $750,000. I live in Austin. I'm a 1%er in Austin. This is great. But if I go to Florida State and they give me $3 million, I'm going to Florida State.
Rumor has it everybody in Texas gets $400.
Yeah,
everybody gets $400, and then what you can negotiate outside, whatever. But $400 is a good number.
400 is a great number. And then you add on the private plane deals that Wisner and some of these other guys got. I'm not putting their business out there. I'm just saying that these other guys are getting. You're looking at north of, really close to 7 figures is what you're looking at. But if y'all can do that, and I can go to the Big 12 or the ACC, and I can get 150 yards every game instead of getting 150 every now and then in the SEC, and you're going to give me $2 million, I'm going to get my bag up and my draft stock up.
Now, in Widener's situation, and that may be the case. Once Blue comes back, once the other kid gets healthy,
yeah, they got like the top three running backs in this freshman class all going to Texas.
Oh well, yeah.
So the writing is on the wall. Your carries are getting cut. You were a starting running back for 2 years and we didn't win anything. So it's not like we have to keep you. And then we got the top 3 running back. The dude at Chaminade just almost broke all of Derrick Henry's high school records. So we good. And you can go get a bag somewhere else. The writing's on the wall, man. All their running backs jumped in the portal. C.J. Baxter's in the portal.
They must have fired their running back coach.
They brought their old running back coach back. They fired the running back coach, brought the old guy back.
That's what that's about.
Brought the old guy back. He's pretty much saying, you guys ain't getting it done that's in here right now. We got some young dogs coming here, and they probably going to get Jordan Ball from Florida in the transfer portal as well. So the writing was on the wall for a guy like Trey Wisner. Some people were saying, oh, man, come back home, go to old Baylor. Hey, man, I'm a Baylor fan. I love Baylor. I know where I'm looking any kid in the eyes right now that's a 4 or a 3-star and saying, come on down.
Yeah, you got to get your money on right, man.
Get your money right. Baylor don't have the money nor the talent nor the coaching pedigree. None of the stuff.
What I'm surprised about Baylor is some of their better players are entering the portal.
Keaton Thomas is going to be in the portal. Caden Jenkins is into the portal.
Washington ain't entered yet.
He hasn't entered yet, but January 2nd ain't here yet, so I'm not sure. We hoping maybe we can keep him. But, I mean, ain't nobody else staying. All our receivers were seniors. Everybody you've seen catch a pass is out of eligibility pretty much for the Baylor Bears. So I don't know what direction they're going to be going into. It's going to be tough. All their best players, Keaton Thomas, Caden Jenkins, Kamari Morgan, who was the highest-rated freshman we had last year, just jumped into the portal, I think, today or yesterday. It's tough sledding for the Baylor Bears. Needless to say, Trey Wisner won't be coming down to Baylor, and I wouldn't want him to. The Drew Mestemakers, guys like that from UNT, of course they're going to get into the portal. They had a phenomenal year. They won 12 games the first time in history. He broke all the freshman records. Those are the guys that need to get into the portal. But as I said at the beginning, some of you guys are going to be playing at Northwestern State next year that are jumping into this portal. Some of you 2 and 3 stars that just jumped into the portal because you see everybody else jumping into the portal, it's not about to go the way you think. This money, just like free agency in the NFL or NBA, the money's going to dry up quick. January 2nd and 3rd is going to be a lot of money getting handed out. January 20th is not going to be a lot of money getting handed out, and some of y'all are still going to be into that portal. College football playoffs starting this week. Lots of great games. I'm just going to ask you about the game tomorrow on New Year's Eve to start this one off. We talked about some of these games already last week. Some games already being played. Tennessee and Illinois is playing right now. I think TCU plays tonight as well. TCU and USC play. And some of the other bowls. Nobody even watches the other bowls anymore. I mean, in the bowl games, names are starting to get more and more outrageous. The headphone bowl, the Pop-Tart bowl, the water bottle bowl. No one's watching any of those right now. But the big bowl games starting tomorrow, Miami versus Ohio State. I'll ask you about this one. Who do you like in this one? Obviously, Ohio State's favorite. They're the champs. They're playing in Dallas, so neither team really close, so no one's going to have a home field advantage. Ohio State's favored by 9.5. Who you like in that one?
I like Ohio State in that game. I just think, though I thought it was going to be, it could get away, but now the more that I think about it, I think Miami's defense is probably comparable to Indiana's. You're going to have much better weather, though, in Dallas. So at the end of the day, I think Miami's probably going to put up a really good fight, but I look for a 20-14 victory.
Yeah, I was going to say I'll take Ohio State. I just wouldn't take them on those points. 9.5, I think is a little too steep for this game coming up, so I wouldn't take them on that one as well. Lots of great games coming up on the slate this weekend, or not even this weekend, in just a couple of days on New Year's. Georgia, Ole Miss, I think we talked about that one last time. You're still sticking with your upset pick, I guess you call it upset, of Bama over Indiana on New Year's Day.
It's looking better. Yeah. As I look at it, it's looking even better than it did last week.
Yeah.
Really, this is a situation where Indiana has a really good team.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but the only team, in my opinion, the 2 teams that they've played that are on par talent-wise with them are Ohio and Oregon.
Oregon, yeah.
And I haven't seen Mendoza play to the level that would require me to say that he can, because he's going to have to be special to beat Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going. Alabama is not a team where your best player can be okay and you can beat them. Your best player has to really stand up and be a baller, much like when Miami played A&M, Marcel Reed didn't stand up and play, and then when Alabama played Mateer, Mateer didn't stand up and play. You're not going to be able to be average. You're not going to just be able to be a guy and beat Alabama at quarterback. You're going to have to be the man, and I just don't see it in it.
Yeah, I think it's definitely looking closer and closer. The more close we get to this game, I think this is going to be a great game. I'm still taking Indiana in this one, mainly because of their defense and coaching. I think that's probably
what's the spread now?
7 going towards Indiana.
Yeah. You're gonna take the 7?
No, I ain't taking that 7. I ain't taking that 7. It'll be straight up money line if I take anything in that game. I ain't playing. Yeah. I ain't even finna get nothing close to any of those.
This is one of those games that I may bet live just to.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as
once
well.
I see how the game is turning, if it tends to turn out to be the slugfest that I think it's gonna be, then I'll go ahead and take Alabama and the points, of course.
Yeah, for sure.
But I just want to. I really want to see. I think, you may disagree with me, but in this game, I think the better QB is on the Alabama side.
Ty Simpson. I'm not a huge Mendoza.
I'm talking about the better passer, and I'm talking about with that being the case. Now, the thing that I do think has to happen for it to really be about Alabama to pull off the victory, you're gonna have to get Ryan Williams and that other wide receiver
and
activated. They're gonna have to get active.
And they're going to have to run the football. That's the main reason I'm picking Indiana.
There's no chance that's going to happen.
I don't see Bama. Bama just hasn't been able to run the football whatsoever, and I don't see them having any success of them doing that
that's not
on this front 7 for Indiana. But if this is a game in the first quarter and it's, if it's 7-3, Indiana, okay, I'm feeling comfortable by Indiana. They can win those slugfest. If it's 14-14 in the first quarter, Alabama's going to win. Mendoza ain't finna just keep going touchdown for touchdown with these guys. If it's high scoring, it's looking like both quarterbacks are in rhythm, Bama's gonna win.
I'm looking about how I'm really gonna be looking at one thing, believe it or not. How much pressure can Indiana put on Ty Simpson?
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm really gonna be looking at, because even though Ty Simpson was under a lot of pressure with Oklahoma, he was still effective.
Yeah. He was.
And I was wondering, is he going to be able to be effective as a passer with the pressure that Indiana is going? Because I don't think Indiana is as good as Oklahoma on the back end.
DB wise, yeah, I give you that. OU's got some decent DBs for sure. They got the Bowen brothers and a couple other guys. Yeah, they got some decent DBs, but I don't think OU is as good as them up front. Even though OU's front line is really good as well, but that front 7 for Indiana has been phenomenal all year long. It's going to be a tough match. It's going to be a chess match. Can Kalen DeBoer really coach? That's what I'm going to be looking for in this game.
Oh, no doubt.
Can DeBoer really go out here and coach and show, now I'm a Bama guy, I can win here at Bama, all of those different things. I think those will be the tests we see. But lots of great games lined up for this week. If you're a football fan, this is going to be a great week. Last week in the NFL regular season, more college football playoff. The games will actually be good. We don't have to watch Tulane or James Madison get 50 put on their heads in the first half as well, so that should be fun to watch. Out of time here today on Centex Primetime. I want to thank everybody for tuning in with us here today. We'll be back here tomorrow. We'll do something, short episode tomorrow before everybody gets ready for the New Year's plans and everything like that, so be looking out for that. Appreciate Rock for coming on here with me today. Y'all doing HBCU Coaches Corner this week?
No,
sir. Everybody's on break, man. I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. Everybody's on break trying to recoup before we get into this last home stretch of football. Once again, thanks to everybody watching on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, like, and share as well. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next time here on Centex Primetime. Everybody have a great evening.